Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 2 of Pull. Today I'm here with Marcus Kreiner and Sam Butler, of course. He's going to be a regular on the podcast.
I guess so.
Yes, you are. And then today we're going to talk about what trap meets are, how they work, and like how awards are set out, and then some scores on the trap team. So
Giving the people the insider scoop.
yes, giving the people an inside of the scoop. During last couple weeks ago, we had our first meet again at
After the blue white shoot.
after the Blue and White shoot at Coke.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't able to make it, but you two got to make it. So walk us through how we set up for a meet. Well, let's walk us through that.
So, how do you just want to split it in half, or?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay, so yeah, sure, go.
All right, so basically, the coaches and they show up with a big trailer at the shooting site, like however many hours before the meet is scheduled to start. And usually when we're at Coke, they tell us to be there at 7 to help us set up the team tent. And we usually get about 10 guys there, so that's good.
Mhm.
It helps the tent get set up quickly.
Yes.
And then we set up grills, tables for making food and stuff.
Now, was Chris McGovern at that?
Yeah,
he was.
So is he going to be coming back
Yeah,
to
I think he just comes back and grills for us.
That's
again.
awesome.
Like, he just-
I do appreciate
Yeah,
him
he's
coming
a fan.
back. He's awesome. Anyway, continue, Marcus.
Yeah, so then after we get the tent set up, we just chill, wait for more guys to show up until the team meetings are around 8:15, I'd say, or 8:30, and then that's when we go over squads. Coaches give us a squad sheet, and they go hang it up near the tent so we can see it.
Yeah.
Well, now walk us through like how they set up squatting.
Okay, so basically it's set up by roughly guys with the same skill set.
Mm-hmm.
So like obviously I wouldn't get paired with someone who shoots like 46 out of 50.
Right.
So
DOP guys.
yeah, big guys. So the coach calls up the first squad leader, and then the squad leader reads off their squad, and then once everyone's there, they pass out to the next squad leader, and it continues until all the squads are read off. And then we have more time to just hang out and chill until usually about 9 at Coke the shooting starts,
Mhm.
and that's when everyone shoots their 16-yard line, at their 16-yard line
Yeah.
On a
squads.
side note,
Yeah, go ahead.
something that I do, and something that I recommend all the shooters at prep do is eat breakfast before you shoot your 16s.
Yes.
Because if you do bad, you're gonna get even more mad at yourself because you're hungry, you're hangry.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, food, not to sound fat, but food makes me concentrate.
Yes, I do agree with that.
And plus, it's Chris's food, like that
yes.
scramble in the morning is just
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, yes.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Any new shooters that will be shooting in the coming years and are listening, eat food before.
Yep.
Even if you're not hungry,
even
just
if you're
have
not hungry,
something because, as Sam said, you're gonna be mad at yourself if you screw up once. Then everything is gonna go downhill.
But that's me who eats breakfast and then gets hungry at 9 anyway.
You're
so.
different, Marcus.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But I mean, like, I always eat before I shoot my 16s. I eat the scramble, and then like before I shoot my handicaps, I always try to have like a burger.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Burger.
But
Yeah. So
Speaking.
I mean, yeah. Do you want me to just continue with it?
yeah,
Well,
you can,
Marcus talked about 16s. Let's hear about
Yeah. So,
handicaps.
So after your 16s, we kind of go into a lull period where the rest of the 16s finish up, and then it's like pretty much quiet while people eat and stuff. It's kind of like an intermittent period.
You can just walk around.
Yeah.
Intermission.
We play a ton of things. We do a ton of things depending on where we are. I know that a ton of the guys fish.
Yes.
Depending if we're like at Papillion Gun Club near Hawaiian Village, we always knock on doors.
Oh yeah.
Just always fish.
Yep.
We play shell poker. That's always fun.
Yep.
Yeah, we just like do things to like pass the time in between our 16s and our handicaps and to really get our minds off of like the pressure of doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's like what some guys do. just like get their minds off things.
Yeah, because I know that you can get yourself pretty worked up and then
Mhm.
do pretty bad on handicaps.
Yep, anything to pass the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then once, and of course we always have a big cookout. We always have like hot dogs and hamburgers, and Chris does a great job with the grill, and he's been doing that since we started at prep, and
Yeah, I
he's
think-
really appreciative.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, once handicaps start, we've been using the new app. We've been using what's called the Trap app
Yes.
for the meets this year, and basically it displays all the scores, it displays your squad, and all the kind of stuff. And I think it's been a good addition to our organization.
Yeah, I would
to
agree on
make
that
sure
too.
that we get everyone out on time and make sure everyone's there,
Mhm.
because I know we've had issues with that in the past.
And obviously, when you get your handicap squads, you're not going to be in the same squad
No.
because it just depends on how well other teams and other shooters have shot. That's how you're going to be shooting with
Yep.
others.
Depending on how many schools are there, one, and how you do, you won't always be with a prep person. You'll sometimes just be in a
You maybe have one guy, but
one guy, or you'll just be by yourself.
Right.
And
Yep.
you'll be with Bennington, Marion, Fremont, all those.
DC
Blair.
West.
Yep, DC West. All those different trap teams who show up and shoot in our ECTC conference.
Yep.
And that's not a bad thing, but you don't have the support of your teammates, and that's something that I know that I enjoy the benefit of as well as others do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, after 16s, after handicaps, we generally just kind of
Wait.
hang around again, because handicaps do take a long time.
Yes, they take much longer.
I think they take longer than 16s.
I
Personally.
I think
Just
so.
because
they do.
you have to organize everyone
Mhm.
and all that. So, yeah, I know during the first meet, after the blue wet shoot,
Mhm.
I knew that we had some. I wouldn't say bad weather, but I'd say it was pretty cold.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty cold that meet.
Yeah, and I know that places a burden on. He's in trouble. I know that places a burden on some people, just because you're cold, you focus on the cold, and you don't really focus on doing well, and you have layers on. I know I can't shoot with the heavy coat on.
No,
I just can't.
Yeah, it just gets in your way of your.
Yeah, it gets in your way of your motion, and your gun doesn't set right and all that stuff. So I know it definitely places a burden. So I'm always like, if you watch me shoot, I always if I know I can't keep shooting with layers on,
Yes.
you'll just see me throw off my layers
Yes.
and throw them on the grass.
Yep.
Especially with gloves and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. I find that funny.
I can't shoot with puffy gloves. I have to have those
Well, yeah.
skin tight gloves.
Well,
Yeah.
you know the gloves I wear, right?
Yeah,
those,
right. Those-
good goat skin gloves.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
those are
things.
nice.
Yeah, I shoot with those sometimes, and those are fine. But I mean, I can't shoot with anything else.
No.
Yeah, some things I wear if it's cold. I dress in a lot of thin layers. Like
Mhm.
for the last meet at Coke 2 weeks ago, it was a thin long sleeve undershirt, a regular long sleeve shirt, a thin hoodie, and then my uniform quarter zip, which is also thin.
Yeah.
And that's great because it got nicer, and I took off one of the layers, and I was still able to move because they were thin.
Mhm.
And then I also put joggers under my uniform pants,
Yeah.
which people looked down at me for, which I don't know why. It was kind of comfortable.
I didn't look down. I remember talking to you about that. I didn't look down on you for that.
Yeah,
I
but-
just said that would probably make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'd say the only way my layers would get in the way is if I was wearing a thicker hoodie and I'd have to keep tugging at my hood away from my neck so that I
yeah.
couldn't set
I
my
know
gun
what you
correctly.
mean.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think I wore a total of 3 layers that entire meet. I wore just a t-shirt and then a hoodie and then my Carhartt because I love my Carhartt.
Yeah.
And you know those black Wranglers that I wear?
Mhm.
Dude, I love those things.
Yeah.
I'm starting to
Yeah.
love those things, man.
Mhm.
They're really durable, and they're just pretty
Yeah.
weatherproof.
Oh, yeah.
So all that kind of stuff. I mean, it doesn't really matter how many layers you wear as long as you
Are comfortable.
are
with
comfortable, A, and B, can still shoot effectively with your layers on.
Mhm.
If you need to strip a layer or two when you're at the line, that's not looked down upon.
No, it's not.
So do whatever you need to do to do well.
Yes.
So yeah, back to the whole process of meets. I'd say the next thing, or one of the final things we do is a shootout.
Shootouts.
Actually, being in a shootout is one of my personal goals for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never been in a shootout. Because I've always been one of the undershooters.
The underdog.
Who's just there, happy to be there.
Same for mine for all those non-shooters or newbies. Am I explaining what a shootout is?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Marcus. Stupid Adobe Flash. So yeah, shootout. So once you get down to it, you do your. So in a trap meet, how we explained it last episode was we do 50 shots of 16, so 2 boxes, and we do 50 shots of handicaps, and your score out of 100 places you like kind of like an eligibility range into doing a shootout against the other kids in the school. Yeah. You can do it against other prep people. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, I have seen that happen.
First, second, third.
Yep.
It's just you against everyone. So.
Would you say it's kind of like a tiebreaker?
Yeah,
it's a big
kind of a side note is that prep or not prep. Trap is not only a team sport; it's also a very individual sport. Mm-hmm. So that's actually how we do awards and medals, which we'll talk about later.
Yes, we will.
But that's like one of the things is that like during a shootout, you're basically on your own, effectively. So so. After your handicaps and all that, and you get your scores tallied up, and you get the top shooters who did well on both 16s and handicaps, they go into what's called a shootout. I don't know exactly how they work too well, just because I don't really know the whole process.
I know that I believe you start off with you shoot 10. And then whoever gets
like the
most out of that, then you move on to 25. And whoever gets the most off of that, it just continues going on.
Because I know it's like kind of like sudden death. Kind of, not really.
Yeah.
But like, if you, it's like whoever gets the least like gets eliminated.
Yep.
And until it's down to the final person, and then they win the gold medal.
Yeah.
Which actually brings us into our final portion of the meets,
which are awards. And I'm going to start jumping into awards. I'm just going to give a quick brief overall on how awards are awarded to people. Basically, it's the top 3 out of the different handicaps that you shoot. So let's say it's the top 3 of 21-yard lines. The top 3 who shot there will get awarded 1, 2, and 3. And then there's an overall team medals. Team medals. Thank you. I believe Team Blue got second in handicaps, which
squad
is
overall.
Squad overall. That's very good. And then I know that Sam got a medal.
Yeah.
He got, Sam Butler got 3rd at the 20 to 21 yard lines. That's very good. Good
overall,
job.
Yep.
Good job on that.
Thank you.
So basically,
I kind of want to tell the story of like.
Let's hear this. Let's hear this story.
After that, we can go into our scores more often.
We can definitely go into scores. Yeah.
So,
all right.
Just
tell your story.
This is a side tangent. So, so after I was done shooting, Coach Raspley actually came up to me. He was like, "How'd you do?" I was like, I was thinking, I got like 83 overall, and he's like, "How'd you do on your handicaps?" I got like a 22-19. So he's like, "Oh, you may be in the running for a medal, but I don't know. I wouldn't be hopeful." So, I was like, all right. I didn't really expect to
medal.
I didn't really think I did like that good. So I looked on the thing, and I got like 5th, like out of the 21 yard line handicap thing. So I was like, okay, that's pretty good. I'm very happy with that. But I was like, damn, I wish I could have medaled.
Right. Because
like then once you medal, you get the letter and
all that other stuff that comes after.
Eternal glory.
Yeah.
So I actually found out that I medaled on Sunday, the day after, because I walked up to Coach because we have to sign in for varsity and stuff like that, and he was like, "Sam, why didn't you stick around? You medaled." And I was like, "I did?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know I medaled." I was like, "Oh man,"
that's
because
funny.
because like a couple of the other shooters who were ahead of me got like different medals, and I don't know exactly how Coach Novotny explained it to me, but he basically said that I got moved up 2 spots, so I got
that's
third.
pretty cool.
So
That
I was
is
like,
very cool.
A, I'm kind of lucky I got that, but B, I also kind of earned it because I got it from the 21.
Yeah, that's true. You did.
But so I was very happy about that. I got like the medal from Matt Wolf. He hanged on to it for me. Yeah, he just threw it to me. It was like, there you go.
It's kind of like, here you go, toss it over to you.
Yeah, very informal. I was
See, a great thing about shooting like an average Joe like me, I shot a 60 overall. I'm like, great. I did well for me, but I'm not medaling, so I just get to go after the varsity meeting.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how I was like for the first 3 years because I was just like, I don't want to go home. Man.
Yeah.
Especially if it was like cold or like raining or something. Oh my gosh, I was like,
Yep.
But so
Hopefully, when I'm able to shoot again, I will be able to medal.
when?
Yes.
When I'm able to shoot, yes.
Yeah, so back to awards and scores and stuff like that.
So scores, Marcus shot.
Is that a?
Can I talk to you? Can I talk about your scores? Is
Yeah,
that all
sure.
right? All
That's
right.
fine.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because some people are very proudful and that they don't want to tell people their scores.
That's
Take
okay.
pride in
And
your
okay.
Still
So
my secrets.
16s, you shot a 15-15, very very good. Especially for your only second year.
Yeah.
I know that you've moved up a lot in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I know.
Man,
Do you mind if I talk about like how you started off?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I was bad. That's the truth. You can talk about
Yeah,
it.
obviously.
Man used to think he was American Sniper out there.
Yeah.
He was just pull, boom.
Yeah. You.
That was fun.
I do remember when you first started off, you would wait till it's very far out, and then you would shoot off.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell you shoot up at like when it's up at its highest, but
that's when it's the scariest.
obviously you took that to heart, improved yourself a lot over the summer, and then or into this new trap season. Then your handicaps 14-17. One more you hit one more than you did, which is obviously with your total scores from 16s and the handicaps, you're staying pretty consistent, which is good. But we also you want to improve that over the season. Will you be going to the next meet?
I think I am as of now, yes.
Okay, good. So
my 16s would have been better, but those my form issues that I figured out,
I
didn't find out until the very last post of the 16s.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, there we go. What, I have 4 shelves left? Well.
wow.
Well.
Yeah. But I mean, and then the day after that meet on Sunday practice, I shot one box at 19s and I shot one box at 20s.
There you go.
And I got 64 overall. So
There you
I
go.
did better at practice.
That's very good.
So I'm not the best, but I'm on the up, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. And I think he'll do much better as we get through the season because there's I think, what is it, 6 meets? Until state?
Yeah, I believe so.
Jeez. This season's impressively short.
But it feels so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we only have one thing a week.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 practices a week and one meet.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks because now that I love doing trap, it's too late.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Now, Sam, let's talk about your scores.
Yes, sir.
16s, 21-21.
Yeah.
Good job. Obviously, still staying consistent with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then handicaps 22 and a 19.
Mm-hmm. I was lacking on that last box.
All right, tell me about that. Did your form break down?
No.
Do you mind if we talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm here anyway. So.
Yeah, you are here.
Yeah. So since it was 2 weeks ago,
you don't really remember.
I don't really remember how little.
The little
important details on why I missed things, but I do remember on that second box why I got a 19. So I would have gotten a 20, and actually, if I would have gotten a 20, I would have gotten second place on.
Oh yeah.
I was
yeah.
But yeah, the reason I missed that one target to get a 19 was like because I thought I hit it because I was like in the zone. I thought I hit it, but the wind picked up. Do you remember that? The wind.
Yes, it did. It was really bad during handicaps.
Yeah, because it was like cold in the beginning, but like no wind, and then it was like warmer, but like quite a bit of wind.
Yeah.
So the wind was coming out of our backs, and for the people who don't know, the wind coming out of the back means that it forces the targets down, and vice versa. Where if it's coming at you, the targets go up and side to side and all that. So the reason that I missed the clay was because the wind was blowing behind me. Not to make an excuse or anything, but I shot over it, and I thought I shot it just because I saw my wad. Like the wad of the shotgun shell, like fly, and it looked like it broke off from my position. But then I heard him call loss, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't call it early enough. I did it that was like the first shot I shot on post 5. And so I contested it when we were changing, and that doesn't really help your case because, it's like 5 targets back, and, so... I mean, it's fine. I still am very happy with my score. It's actually a personal record for me.
That is very good.
83. So
proud of that.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. But that one just bugged me, I guess you could say.
Yep.
Yeah. So, do we want to talk about the Bellevue meet, or is that something that you don't want to talk about?
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
Okay.
Because I think it's a really important thing to talk about. One of the things that Coach Novotny told me about was that you'll have highs and lows throughout your entire career trap shooting. And I think that's really a great example of something that I saw. So I know, Marcus, you weren't there because you were doing musical things.
Yes.
And I know you were there because of unrelated matters. But yeah, I think that it's a great example of it. So I mentioned that I got my personal record in the first meet. The first meet at Coke, and that was like pretty much the complete opposite at Bellevue.
Yeah.
So I shot I'm trying to remember here, a 19 and a 19 and a 17 and a 22, I'm sorry, for my 16s. And I don't know what happened to me on the first box, but the second box was fine. I was very happy with that score. But the first box, I don't know. Maybe it was just the usual pre-16 jitters, but I don't know. And then handicaps is where I just totally just fell in the toilet, so to speak.
Go over your notes.
Yeah, I shot a 15 and a 14 for a total of 29 out of 50. And I was very mad after that. Because you know the feeling.
Oh, yeah.
You know the
horrible feeling.
It's a horrible feeling when you don't know. The thing that makes me mad, and I've told many people this, the thing that makes me mad the most when I do bad on 16s or handicaps is when I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And that's definitely the case with those scores. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I shot from the 20-yard line. I had a modified choke, I think. It doesn't really matter, but...
Right.
Yeah, and that's just really what bugged me. And so I did the first thing that came to mind to fix it was I need to get a ton of help on Sunday practice, and that's exactly what I did. So, yeah. Other than that, the meet was fine. The weather conditions were probably the most perfect I've ever seen them on a meet.
God, it was beautiful.
It was like
beautiful.
If you look up or down the trap, you always see the flags of the
different teams who are participating,
teams, as well as Old Glory, and you look at those, and the flag just did not move at all. The temperature was hoodie weather.
Oh yeah,
it was great, and because of that, I can't make the lame excuse that weather affected my shooting. So I have to say that my mental game affected my shooting. And that's something we mentioned during the last episode of the podcast is that mental game is the difference between hitting and missing a clay, especially when you miss one.
Yes.
Coach always says is that you have the highest probability of missing another clay after you missed your first one.
Right.
Because it's all a mental game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really important point to reiterate during episode 2, because it's probably the most important aspect of trap shooting. Because trap shooting, like I said, is not a physical sport.
It's all mental.
Because I think you get it in your head like, oh, I want to beat my friends, or like get the best score out of my friend group, or I want to medal or shoot 25 straight or something like that.
Yep.
But then when you start thinking about that, it gets in your head.
It gets in exactly. It gets in your head, and you suffer because of it.
Yeah. If I might add on to that, yeah, I was definitely like that. Especially with my first year and the very start of this season, just not knowing what I was doing wrong because I wasn't experienced enough.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, during practice, my first handicap box, I shot a singular box, 25 targets. I was on the 18-yard line. I shot 5 targets out of 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I shot 5 out of 25. That was my worst box ever. And I was frustrated too. Like, okay, I'm not great, but I know I'm better than this.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I wasn't setting any grand goals for myself, because if you set a goal too big, like if you just go say, I'm gonna go shoot 25 straight, like Sam said, you're not gonna achieve it. You have to start, okay, how do I shoot a few more targets? How do I
start from the bottom?
Yep, you start from the bottom. That's when you go over your stance, your hold point, your look point, as I think Aiden said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And you really have to. It really takes mental training and self-control to get into that spot where you're like, okay, I missed that target. I could have shot it, but you know what? It's in the past now. I'm going to take a deep breath and focus as well as I can on the next target, and that's what matters. That combined with me finally figuring out what I was doing wrong, that was what allowed me to do well in the last meet and the practices after that.
Yeah.
Because I know, was it during the blue-white shoot that you had the...
Oh, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the blue and white shoot. All right, this is probably.
Go ahead, Chad.
Okay.
Just like that, we all woke up.
Yep. All right.
We're all just kind of sulking and.
Yeah.
No, we're here.
All right. So
big story.
Our first quote unquote meet is called the blue and white shoot. It's just for the prep guys, and let's just say I didn't have the best handicaps because of some inconvenience with what was happening behind me. Obviously, trap is one of those things that if you hear something behind you, your mind's going to be like, oh, what's that behind me? And you're going to look behind me, and then your concentration is gone.
Yep.
And that's why when it's respectful when you're behind people, do not ever yell across the trap meet. That's what screwed me up. That's what screwed up my entire squad when we were shooting our handicaps. And I was super upset with myself. I put my gun away and threw my stuff in my car, and I was upset about it. And then, of course, I had people come and talk to me like, oh, what happened? I'm like, well, something happened behind me. I screwed up. I forgot what I was going to do. I lost all my concentration, and I did fairly well on my 16s, and if I did better on my handicaps, I would have maybe gotten somewhere, maybe third or second. I don't know. I don't really care now. But looking back on it, I'm just very upset that I shot like that because of what happened behind me.
I think the details of that story
they're not
can't really be expressed on the podcast, but they're very funny.
They're very funny, yes.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is that like another thing with your concentration in your mental game is you have to be able to find the ability to
tune out people
behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really blame people who can't do that, but I can't. Yeah, I can't. I know I can't.
I definitely can't.
But it really does affect you, and so I think it's just like common.
It's just common knowledge.
Common sense, like etiquette to be quiet. It's kind of like golf.
Yeah.
Golf with guns, but yeah. I always joke around that we need like those quiet please signs.
Oh, yeah, while
whenever
people
they're-
walk
Yeah,
around, like, be
uh-huh.
quiet.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's another thing with concentration is that you got to like tone it out.
Mhm.
So
All right, so that is going to actually wrap up the episode for today. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Marcus, to coming and talking to me about meets.
of course.
Later, the last episode we talked about how
Basics.
the basics of trap, how they where it came from. This episode we talked about how meets work, scoring, and awards. And in the later episodes to come, I'm going to analyze the future meets and talk about how people shot and how well they did and how they can improve on their shooting. Thank you again. This has been Pull with Aiden Chatton.